Welcome students, this is a continuation of the previous chapter that is called data structure in stacks and queue. So before starting further we will do a little bit of previous recap. So here I am going to do that. So what is data structure? Data structure is a way to store a collection of arbitrary data. The data structure can be implemented via list, dictionary, tuple or set. Actually, it is nothing but the way we store data inside our memory element. The way we store as well as the way we retrieve the data. We can store it last in, first out, first in, first out basis. So there are also other ways. So the way we store the data inside our memory, that is called data structure. This is nothing else. So there is a classification of data structure. We need to know that first. What is the classification of data structure? The data structure can be divided broadly into two types. Number one, that is called static structure. Number two, that is called dynamic structure. Dynamic structure is further divided into two categories. Number one, that is called linear data structure and non-linear. Non-linear and linear are the types of data structure where data is stored one after another. So linear data structure is further categorized into two ways. Number one is sequential data structure. Number two is linked list. In sequential data structure, the data element are stored one after another. Suppose I will show you one thing. This is our memory element. Suppose this is our memory element. So these are the cells. These are the cells. I have to put two or three elements. So this particular area is blocked. This particular area is blocked, and this one. I have to store three elements consecutively. Suppose if I go with sequential data structure like arrays, stacks, and queues, I will not able to store all the three elements over here because there is no way to store over here as this particular area is blocked. But when I comes over here, I am getting three consecutive places to store my data, and I can store my data over here over three elements. But the same thing is not applicable for the linked list. There is an advantage obviously. Suppose linked list, what these things actually do? It links with the another part. Suppose again I have the same criteria. I have three data we have to put inside our memory element. So I have put the first element over here and the next one is here, but I am not getting the consecutive memory elements. So nothing to worry. I can easily store the third element over here, and I will instruct this node that my next node is this one. This particular linked list will store the memory address of this particular cell. So this is obviously an advantage of linked list over sequential data structure. Now coming to the non-linear data structure, this can further be categorized into two parts. Number one is tree, number two is graph. As all of you are a science student, most of you, obviously not all of you, most of you are science student, for you trees and graph will not be a problem. I will provide you all these sheets as a PDF along with this video. Now coming to the page number 2, that is termed as the operations on data structure. Obviously in my previous video I have given some hint what are the operations, what types of operations can we perform on the data structure, but this video will provide you an in-depth idea. So operations on, whenever we are considering the topic operations on data structure, the following operations can be performed on data structure. Number one, that is called insertion. Insertion means we can insert any, this is suppose this is our data structure. If I am considering stack as a data structure, suppose consider this stack as a data structure. So when we can insert the data, that is called insertion, as well as we can delete the data. Traversal, what is the meaning of traversal? most of you have the problem with the term traversal. Traversal is nothing but accessing each and every element. We can print the element also, but overall accessing each and every element is termed as traversal. Number 4, that is called searching. Searching means suppose we have some data in our stack or whatever the data structure may be. I have to find out a particular element. Suppose here I have kept 20, 30, 50 and 60. So I have given you the task to find out whether the element 30 is present inside our stack or not. So the way you go through, that is called searching. So searching can be further categorized in two types. At that, number 1 is called linear search and number 2 is called binary search. Number 1 is called linear search and number 2 is called binary search. Now we also we're also going to discuss the topic that is called sorting. Suppose there is any kind of unsorted data. Unsorted data means the data is not in either ascending order or in descending order. So I have to perform or arrange the data. That particular term is called sorting. The sorting means to arrange elements of a list. It may be a list in either ascending order or in descending order. You can arrange the data either in ascending order or as well as in descending order. So there are types of sorting. Here are the types of sorting. Number 1, the type is called bubble sort. Number 2, selection sort, insertion sort, quick sort, bucket sort, merge sort, radix sort, heap sort. All of these are the process of sorting, but there is a difference the way they access or the way they sort or arrange those elements. Now, previously we have also discussed about the stack. Now it is the time to discuss further. So what a stack is? Stack means arranging one object over another object, and these objects are removed in reverse order of their arrival. Now this is the definition. I will accept that this is the definition, but in this definition there are some discrepancies you need to understand. Stack means arranging one object over another. I am arranging one object. Listen, see over here. I am arranging the one object. Object means nothing but the elements over another, and these objects are removed in reverse order. What is the meaning of reverse order? They have come in this way, but at the time of deleting the element we have to take it out in the reverse manner. Means the last element will pop out first or will be deleted first. So this is the way they work. The way there is no other difference other than the way they store or the way they retrieve or the way they get deleted. Now we need to understand some condition related to stack. Number 1, the condition is called underflow condition. What is underflow condition? It is actually nothing but a situation where there is no element left and we still wish to remove an element or display the list. Suppose I am drawing some picture. This is our stack. So initially there are 3 elements, number 20, 30 and 50. After removing all the elements, and obviously I want to mention over one thing, we have the concept of array. So indexing is a very important part. So this is the 0 index, 1 index and 2 index. After removing all the index, and I have also mentioned there is another pointer that is called top. This is nothing but a pointer which points the current top position. Okay, so obviously as 50 is there, the position of the top will be here. The position of the top element will be, top pointer will be over here. But after deleting, what will happen? It will come over here, and this particular position will be termed as -1. This is the -1, index is -1 because this is 0. Obviously here the position will be -1. So So actually what happens, there is no other element, inside the stack, and this particular, and the position of the top pointer is -1. If this particular situation arises, then this particular situation is termed as underflow condition. Now there is another part that is called overflow condition. So what is overflow condition? I will also mention this one. What is overflow condition? It is a particular situation where the user are not able to add new elements due to the memory full or range is overfilled with values. Suppose again this is a stack. And this is our top pointer. Top pointer points the current element. Now this is initially the index is -1, and I have to take this top pointer to the position that is termed as 0 position, and I have inserted one element that is suppose 10, and if I have to add new element, then I have to increment the top pointer by 1, and after incrementing by 1, it will come over here, top equals to top plus 1. Now this is the current top position. Now if I want to insert any kind of new data, then I have to insert over here, and again if I want to insert further, then I have to increment the top pointer by 1, and it will come over here, top equals to top plus 1. And suppose I have inserted number 30 over here. This is a 0, 1, number 2 index. So here you can see that no other elements can be further added. So this is this particular situation where we cannot add new element. This is called overflow condition. And I have also discussed about few operations that we can perform on stack. That is number 1, that is called push operation. What is the meaning of push operation? Push operation means insertion of new element in the stack. Obviously, insertion. Let's understand the concept of stack. Suppose this is a stack. So one way or one entrance is open and the other one is closed. So data can be inserted from this position and also get deleted from this position. So whenever we are inserting data, that particular operation is termed as push operation. Or whenever, what is the meaning of pop operation? Whenever, suppose we want to delete some element from our stack. Suppose we have an existing stack and there is also some elements, and if I want to delete those elements from our stack, then that particular operation is termed as pop operation. Suppose we have 20, 30, 40. I have inserted. Now what I have to do, the last element that I have inserted, I have to delete it first, because this particular entrance is closed, so we cannot delete the data from this side. Only way that is open is here, and we have to pop out or take out the element from this particular open end. That is why the operation is termed as LIFO. LIFO means last in and first out. The element that we have inserted at the last, we have to take it out at the very beginning. That is why it is termed as last in, first out. Okay. Now we are moving further. And coming to the expression that is called types of expression in stack or whatever the data structure it may be. There are the types of expressions. So there are mainly 3 types of expression in stack. Number 1, that is called infix. Actually I have written over here prefix, but it will be better if I discuss infix initially. So infix, there are 3 types of expressions. Number 1 is that is termed as infix. Number 2, that is termed as prefix. Number 3, that is termed as postfix. But before proceeding further, I will give you a very brief idea about what the operators and operand is. Suppose I have an expression, I'm going to write an expression that is a plus b minus c into d. This is our expression. So in this expression, these signs or symbols are termed as operator. These particular symbols are termed as operator, and A, B, C, D, these are termed as operands, O-P-E-R-A-N-D-S. Okay. So by using operators and operands, we create some expression. Expressions are mainly of three types. Number one, that is termed as infix expression. Infix. In means in between. Suppose any expression where the operator, the position of the operators in between the two operands, then it is called infix. So usually the normal expressions are in infix expression. Prefix. Pre means previous. Suppose in a plus b, suppose I have written this thing like this, plus ab, and I have placed the operator at the beginning, then this will be termed as infix expression. Similarly, post. In postfix expression, we have to write the operator at the very end. AB plus, this is termed as postfix expression. So let us revise. What is infix expression? It is a way in which an operator is placed between an operand. The operator is placed in between an operand, and it is called infix expression. Now, prefix expression, this is a way in which operators are placed before the operands. So I have placed this operator before the operands. And now the third one, that is called postfix expression. This is the way in which an operator is placed after the operand. Now, there are some questions that come in our exam, which are, I have to convert an infix expression in postfix expression. Okay, so we'll discuss over here. Now we're going to discuss about the infix to postfix expression. Suppose I have taken an expression that will be a plus b divided by c into d plus e minus f, bracket close. So this is our expression, and I have to perform the postfix operations over here using stack. Obviously I have to perform the thing using stack. So here I have three particular columns. Number one, that is termed as symbol. Number two, that is stack. Number three, that is postfix. Number one, that is symbol. Number two, that is stack, and number three, that is postfix. Now I have to remember one thing very carefully about the priority of the operator. So what is the priority of the operator? Priority of the operator, here the exponent has the highest priority. I am going to write it as 3. Next, multiplication and division, it has the priority of 2, and after that plus and minus, it has the same priority. I have termed this as 1. Now all I have to do, I have to remember one thing, that no two operator, keep this in mind, this is very important point actually, no two operator of the same priority can stay together, in the stack. So here is a very important point, that no two operator that has the same priority can stay inside the stack together. So right now I am scanning one symbol and taking that expression over here. So do remember one thing, that these particular operators will reside inside the stacks initially, and all these operands will go in this particular postfix column. What I have said just now, that all the operators after scanning, it will come over the stack, and all the operands means A, B, C, that will come in this particular postfix column. Okay, so first I am scanning this one. So this is also an operator, this will come over here, and right now the postfix stack is empty. Next will come A. So I am taking over here, I am scanning it, the stack will remain intact, and this particular symbol will come to the postfix column. Next, it is a time for plus. So I am scanning the plus, it will come inside the stack column, and the postfix column will remain the same. Next, I am scanning B. So B will come over here, the stack remain unchanged, and B will come after A. So it will be A, B. Next, that is the division. So what we'll do, plus and division doesn't have the same priority. So it can stay together inside the stack, and the postfix column will remain the same. What I have told you right now, that plus and division, from here you can see that plus and division doesn't have the same priority, so they can stay together inside our stack. Next, I have to scan C. So C comes over here, the stack remain unchanged, and the C will come after B. So in postfix column it will be A, B and C. Okay. After that I have to scan the into. So what will happen, suppose I am taking this, into will come over here, but into and division has the same priority. So the two operators having the same priority cannot stay together inside the stack. So the initial operator, that is division, that will be popped out. So it will popped out and it will come inside the postfix column. Now it is the time for this particular opening bracket. What will happen? It will get over here, and the stack will remain unchanged, Okay, are you getting it? Now I will scan the D. So the stack will remain unchanged, A, B, C, division, D. Okay, now I have to scan plus. So obviously 2 plus are there, but as I have this opening bracket, so there will be no problem, and this particular area, the postfix column will remain unchanged. Okay, right now I have E over here, so I am taking E, and this stack area will remain unchanged. A, B, C / D, and E will come in this postfix column. Okay, then what will happen, then I have to take this particular bracket, that is closing bracket. So whenever I am taking closing bracket, that means this operation is over. The purpose of this particular, whenever I am taking the closing bracket, that means the purpose of this plus or whatever inside it, this purpose is fulfilled. So it will get popped out and it will come into the postfix column, A, B, C / D, E, D, E plus, and this particular area will remain unchanged. Now it is the time for minus minus operator. So what will happen? The minus will be scanned over here. This particular area is little bit problematic, so watch it very carefully. So minus will come over here, and what will happen after having the minus, plus into minus, so these two operators have the same priority, so plus will pop out again, ABC slash DE plus, just a minute, no sorry, no, initially what will happen, this particular minus will come first, and then plus and minus having the same priority, plus will come over here, and in particular stack area there will only minus operation. After that I have to scan the F, so the stack area will remain unchanged and F will come ABC slash DE into plus, I've written, forget written over here, F will come over here, and at last this closing bracket with this closing bracket, so what will happen? This will happen, that means the purpose of this is over. So over here ABC division DE plus into plus F minus. So this is our final postfix expression. Okay.